Hello everyone and welcome to Telling the Time Day 2. So today we're going to look at quarter past and quarter to, as well as recapping on yesterday doing half past. So let's get straight to it and let's see how it works. Again, have your clock ready, play along with it and see how well you do. So with a clock face, it's a full circle and it's made up of 4 quarters, and as you can see here we've got our 4 quarters. We've got a quarter here, quarter here, quarter here and a quarter here. And the question here says, how many minutes make up a quarter of an hour? Now let's use our knowledge of fractions. Now when we're trying to find a quarter, we could either divide by 4 or we could halve it and then halve it again. So we found out yesterday that there are 60 minutes in an hour. If we wanted to find half of that, we find half an hour and that makes 30. And then to find a quarter of an hour, we halve it again. So we need to do half of 30. If we do half of 30, what amount of minutes do we get? The answer is 15 minutes. So in a quarter of an hour, there are 15 minutes. As we see, there is our quarter of an hour, and we've got 15 minutes in that quarter of an hour. Now when we tell the time, there's 2 things we really need to remember. When we're on this side of the clock, if the minute hand is on this side, it's always past the hour. Right? All the way around here, we say it's past the hour until we get to half past. When the minute hand goes round to here, it's then to the next hour. So it's past on this side, we're going past the hour. As soon as we get to here on the minute hand, we go around here, it becomes to the next hour. And that's something we really need to understand as we go through this and do some work on this as well. So let's look at this, a bit of a recap from yesterday. So we'll look at our minute hand first. Remember, if it's pointing at the 12, it's o'clock. If it's pointing down at the 6, remember from yesterday, that means it's half past. All right, so we're half past here. Half past what? So what's the hour hand just gone past? If we look carefully, it's gone past all these numbers, it's gone past the 3, but it hasn't gone past the 4 yet. So for this one, this is half past 3. Right, so that's the time shown on that clock. Now this is where we get to some new stuff. This is where we get to quarter past and quarter to. Now you can see the area that's being shaded in, that is showing a quarter of the clock face. All right. Now if we look from here, our minute hand has gone from the 12 and it's gone to the 3. So it's gone 15 minutes. Now this shows that when the minute hand is pointing at the 3, this has gone a quarter of the way round the clock. So this shows quarter, and we're on this side at quarter past, and let's see what hour it's just gone past. So here we've gone quarter past the 1. So our answer for that one, the clock is showing quarter past 1. If we look at this clock here, now if we look at the minute hand, it's gone even further around. So it's gone from the past area and now it's going to the to area. So as you can see here, the big hand is pointing at the 9 and it's got a quarter of the way to go to the next hour. So if the minute hand is pointing at the 9, that is quarter to. And we need to look at what hour it's going towards, what's the next hour we're going to see. And as you can see, we've got quarter to, and look at the hour hand, it's going towards the 12. So our answer for that one, of what time the clock is showing, is quarter to 12. Now let's look at these 3 examples here. We're going to have a look at each one, make sure we understand each one, and then we're going to answer some questions on it. So let's look at this one here. Here we've got the minute hand, and it's not pointing at the 12, so it's not a clock, but it's pointing down at the 6. If you remember, if it's pointing down at the 6, it means it's half past. Well, half past what? Let's look at the hour hand. So we've got the hour hand here, it's gone past all these numbers, and it's just gone past the 10, but it's not past the 11 yet. So this is half past 10. If we move along to the next one, as you can see, here's our minute hand, and it's pointing towards the 3. It's gone a quarter of the way around so far. So this is in the past area. So here we've gone quarter past, and then let's look at our hour hand again. So we've gone past the 1, past the 2, we haven't gone past the 3 yet. So this is quarter past 2. Let's look at our final one. As you can see, our minute hand has gone all the way around and it's pointing towards the 9, which means we're now in the 2 section. So we're going quarter, so we've got a quarter here, so it's quarter 2, and then we look at the hour hand. So we'll look at the hour hand, it's gone past all those numbers, and it's gone past the 6, but going towards the 7. So this one here is quarter to the next hour, which is 7, so quarter to 7. So let's have a look at this. So which clock is showing quarter past? So have a look at those 3 clocks and let's see if you can work out which one is quarter past. Remember, that's when the minute hand has gone past in the other side. So on that side there, and that's in the past section, so quarter past the hour. So looking at one that's going towards the 3. Can you see it? Well done if you said it was the middle one. That is showing quarter past when the minute hand is pointing towards the 3. Now we're looking for the clock which is showing half past. So this is from yesterday and also a bit of a recap today. We're looking at the clock that's got the minute hand pointing towards the 6. If you can see that one, point it out. And well done if you pointed at this clock, the one that's spinning. That one shows half past. And finally, we're looking at the clock that shows quarter to, and that's where we've got the minute hands that's pointing towards the next hour, so we're going towards the next one. So if you look very carefully, it's the one that's pointing the minute hand at the 9. So have a look, see if you can spot it. Well done if you said this clock. That is showing quarter to, right? Now, a few questions that we're going to go through. These are a bit of a recap from yesterday as well. So how many seconds are there in a minute? I wonder if you can get that. The answer to that, I'm sure a few of you are shouting it out, is 60. Let's have a look at the next one. How many minutes are there in an hour? Now, some of you will be shouting it out straight away. The answer again is 60. How many minutes are there in a quarter of an hour? Now, we went through this right at the beginning. So can you remember how many minutes there are in a quarter of an hour? When we find a quarter, we halve it and halve it again. Well done if you said 15. And the final question, how many minutes are there in half an hour? Remember, we're just halving 60 to find half an hour. We did this yesterday. The answer to that is 30. Now, just to go through a bit more of a recap, I'm going to show you this nice clock here. So this clock, everyone tell me what time that's showing. So look at the big hand. The big hand's pointing at the 12, so it's an o'clock. And the hour hand is pointing at the 7. So the time shown there is 7 o'clock. Now I'm going to move on an hour, which is 60 minutes, and then we can see what time that's showing. There we go. We've just moved on an hour. Again, the big hand is pointing at the 12, so that's o'clock. And now the hour hand is pointing at the 8, so this is 8 o'clock. Move on another hour. We should know that one, that's what time school starts. Now, so that one is 9 o'clock. Now let's move on in a few half an hours. So I'm going to move on 30 minutes. And let's see what happens to the clock. So I'm going to move on 30 minutes. And now you can see that the hour hand is not pointing at any of the numbers, but our minute hand is pointing at the 6, which means it's half past. So we've got half past, and what number has the hour hand just gone past? It's gone past the 9. So that makes it half past 9. If I then add another 30 minutes, we've now gone to, if I look at the minute hand, is o'clock. Our hand is pointing at the 10, so it's 10 o'clock. Now let's use the knowledge that we've just got from this session. we're going to add 15 minutes. So this is where we get the quarter pasts and the quarter twos. Now if you remember, the minute hand all the way around here is past the hour, and here from the 6 all the way to the 12 is to the hour. So if I add 15 minutes on, I've now got the minute hand pointing at the 3. That means that is a quarter and it's gone past the hour. So this clock is showing quarter past the 10. Right? Quarter past 10. If I then move on for another 15 minutes, I've now got my half past again. I've now got half past 10. If I add on another 15 minutes, you can see now the minute hand is pointing at the 9, which means we now got to go towards the next hour. So it's quarter to. And if you can see, it's not quarter to 10, we've already gone past 10, we're going towards the next hour. So it's quarter to 11. So that clock is showing quarter to 11. If I add another 15 minutes, we've then gone back to the o'clocks. So here we go again, we've got 11 o'clock. Now I'm going to go through this a bit more. We're going to see if you can say the answer to these ones. So let's move on to 15 minutes. I wonder if you can tell me what time that clock is saying. Remember, we've got the minute hand pointing in the past section, and what hour have we gone past? Well done if you said quarter past 11. So we're on another 15 minutes. Who can tell me that time? That one is half past 11, because the minute hand is pointing at the 6 and we've gone past the 11. Let's move on to 15 minutes. Here we go. We're going towards the next hour now. So it's 2 and we've got a quarter left. So it's quarter to, and look at the next hour that the hour hand is going towards. So it's quarter to 12. And finally, if both hands pointing up, we end up at 12 o'clock. So that's how the clock works in quarters. We've got a worksheet to go with that. We'll see how well you do, and enjoy looking at time.